Hurricane Lee is finally out of the picture, and a crazy weather pattern change will bring large hail and damaging winds to the southern and central plains. Plus, the tropics are still very active, and the Four Corners region still stay very dry and hot. Also, Oklahoma and Texas will experience severe weather for the first time in several months. A pesky shortwave trough will be ejecting into central Oklahoma and northern Texas later this afternoon. That's what's really going to help all these storms spark and get going. If you're in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the OKC Metro, Chickasha Nation, Wichita Falls, Texas, and Dallas, Texas, I might want to start paying attention. Now, as the moisture shoots north into the southern plains from the Gulf of Mexico, daytime heating along with the shortwave trough aloft will help support moderate destabilization. Now, these storms will fire just west of the Oklahoma City Metro around 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. So really round about when a lot of people are just now starting to get off work and go to dinner is when you're going to have to start paying attention for these storms to pop up. The 850 millibar and the 500 millibar wind westerly shear will help the storms rotate upon initial development. Although there will be spin in the atmosphere, the tornado threat remains low at the time of recording as a 2% tornado risk. There is a chance this may increase throughout the daytime tomorrow as we kind of see how these storms start to form and how the environment actually is the day of. Now, as a result of everything I just told you, the storm mode will be supercellular and it will produce large to very large hail, meaning hail 2+ inches in diameter. Localized damaging wind gusts will last into the overnight hours as the storms form into a squall line. For those who don't know, a squall line is a group of storms arranged in a line, often accompanied with high wind and heavy rain. Now, storms might redevelop later in the evening along the convective outflow where the nocturnal low-level jet strengthens. That may result in multiple rounds of severe storms in certain areas. Now, this weekend, we should have another severe weather setup in the upper to mid Mississippi Valley and the High Plains. Although we do not have a lot of information about this setup, models have been consistent with the location and the timing. Seasonable moisture has been backed by a strong low-level jet into the central plains. Now, with the increasing low-level instability and the forecasted warm sector, these storms should organize late Friday evening into Saturday night. Now, if we take a look at the trough, it does make this comma shape that normally produces severe weather. Normally, this type of event is a windbag, and they're known for producing supercells on the southern end of the system. Now, some of these supercells that form on the southern end of the system has been known to produce tornadoes, and some of them strong. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but just keep in mind that this is a possibility. This is nearly a week out. I'm not trying to doomcast. I'm not trying to wishcast. I think it's just something that we need to watch. Now, there is a ridge building out west that will hinder the wet season out in Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, and Utah. Now, because of this, you will not have any relief from the heat anytime soon. You will continue to experience temperatures during the daytime that's in the high 90s to the low 100s. Hate to say it, you're going to have to wait for rain just a little bit longer. Now, for those of you that like snow, there is a chance of snow in the elevation of the Rocky Mountains. Really, that's all the winter weather involved in the U.S. right now. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Hurricane Lee is now gone. And now Hurricane Nigel has the spotlight. Well, at least for now. But a dip in the jet stream will shove Nigel off to the east and he should remain a fish storm. Now, there are two areas of interest in the tropics that have my attention. Now, there is a 30% chance of formation just north of the Bahamas, and it has its sights set on the Carolinas. The good news is, as of right now, the model runs show whatever comes of this will not be very strong when it makes landfall. It is a long ways out, so do not take what I said in writing in stone. There is a 70% formation of a tropical storm just west of the African coast. This storm should be a depression later this week or early next week as the storm moves westward across the tropical Atlantic. Now, with all that being said, I really want you to start paying attention to severe weather. I know I've kind of harped on what you need to do for hurricane safety, but I want you to do a few things for me as preparing for severe weather. Number one, I want you to have some type of weather app on your phone, whether it be a radar or your local news stations that sends out warnings. Me personally, I like Radar Omega and Radar Scope. Not sponsored by any of the two, those are just two of the ones I prefer to use. Now, number two, I want you to know where your safe places are just in case a tornado were to hit. A basement is ideal. That is the ideal scenario. Now, if you do not have a basement, I need you on your first floor or your lowest floor in the most interior room you can find, whether it be an interior closet or an interior bathroom. Make sure you're away from all windows, and that will be your best bet. Now, while you're taking shelter, make sure you have a baseball helmet, flashlight, and I prefer you to take a whistle. The reason I want you to take a whistle is because the sound of a whistle projects farther than the human voice. And on top of that, as much yelling as you may do to be heard, your voice will give out, but the whistle will not. So that's something I try to tell people to take care of. Now, if you are on the road, there's one thing I do not want you to do. Do not stop under an overpass. Don't do it. It disrupts traffic flow. I understand you want to take shelter from the hail and you think that's the best place to take shelter from a tornado. In reality, it's not. Because you're disrupting traffic flow, that's going to create traffic jams, and you're putting a bunch of people in a central location. And if a tornado were to go through there, a lot more people are going to get hurt and possibly lose their lives because of a traffic jam, because people do not know how to properly shelter from a tornado out in public. Find a gas station, go in their beer cooler, find a restaurant, go in their bathroom. That's your safest bet. Do not put other people's lives at stake by stopping under an overpass. Now, with all that being said, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure you like and subscribe and share the video. Now, if you feel obligated in any way to help us, please click that join button. That'll help us upgrade our equipment and help fund chases for you guys. Now, thank you guys so much once again for watching.